Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GBYWN Australia podcast. Your host, as usual, Aston Crude, 11-time heavyweight champion.
Oh, you did it.
Well, you wanted. I knew you wanted it last time,
I made
so
fun
I
of
did
you
it
last
this time. We got the Cannibal Dan Zeplin here for part 3 on the podcast.
Hello.
We did the first 2 parts very late at night a few weeks ago. Now we're doing part 3 during the day on a nice, lovely. Is it Thursday today?
It is Thursday. Yep.
Thursday.
We are fresh. We are awake. We
fresh.
have not drunk enough booze.
We'll
get there.
I think we're doing pretty good. We're on our first drinks here, so everything's going to be running smoothly. Dan, you said earlier your memory's not its best today.
Yeah.
Feeling a little bit
hazy.
Bit hazy today.
But I'm sure once you remind me of things, we'll be right.
That's okay.
If not, I'll just make up stuff. Who's gonna know?
I will.
Okay. Well.
And Ryan will as well.
Oh yeah, Ryan definitely.
The little encyclopedia cunt. Okay.
We can swear on this.
WZWA. Talking about your career in WZWA, Dan, and
Go.
how it all began. Well, it began, I believe, Road to Ruin 2012 was your debut match for WZWA. You took on Alex Stone in a match for a contract where I was a special guest referee. Do you know why you weren't at the first show with the Ring Frostbite, which was probably the previous month?
Good question. I can't remember exactly, but I think at that point I wasn't too into WZWA. So I wasn't really too bothered if I was there or not. I think I wanted to be there, but
I would have thought the first show at the Ring you'd be like, oh fuck, well I've got to check this out. Maybe.
I don't know. I should have been really, but yeah, I think maybe I had something on that day, and I was like, oh well, it doesn't matter. Like they're not really a thing yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah.
Alright, so your debut match, I had taken over booking, and first thing was first, I was like, gotta get Dan Zeplin versus Alex Stone.
Yeah.
I wanted to, for my first show in charge, I wanted to book some matches that we hadn't seen before, like a Ryan Tate versus Dark Ice, etc. So you and Alex Stone, Road to Ruin, do you have much memories of your debut match in a ring?
It was definitely a different experience. Obviously, I'd never wrestled in a ring before. Actually, that's a lie. I'd wrestled a little bit in Schwa's ring when I worked for the pro company Schwa for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely an experience. Just trying to learn to use a ring, basically. Like, obviously, in ICWS, we'd never used ropes or turnbuckles or anything like that before, so it was just like, I could do almost anything in this ring. So what am I going to do? Like, I have to do something different to what I do in ICWS. I can't just keep pretending there's like not ropes there. Yeah. So I was like, what moves can I do with ropes? What can I do with sequences, stuff like that.
So it's pretty fun, isn't it? Like, now we've got these added elements that we can use in our matches. Yeah. And not just a top rope, but there's a second rope. There's a ring apron.
It's like, take what we've done before, and what can we add to that now that we can be proper wrestlers.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought your match with Alex was pretty cool. Maybe not that ultimate match that you guys probably would be capable of doing, but it was just a taste of what you guys could do.
Well, I don't think it was really supposed to be an ultimate match at that point.
No, it was just supposed to be a little start of the storyline type thing. Yeah. I screw you over with a super click.
Super click. There we go.
Super click to the jaw. No, that's the sound your chin made when I gave you the super kick.
Yeah. Well, more my hand.
Screwed you over. Screwed you over. Alex Stone gets the win. Mm-hmm. And then we're building to this storyline with you pretty much being like the... I guess it was more like the Stone Cold. You're coming to ruin the day all the time, basically. Yeah. I've not allowed you to get a contract, so the storyline will be Dan doesn't have to wrestle every show, but he can come and do a little run-in and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was quite pumped up to do the storyline,
sure.
Especially where we knew it was heading.
Yeah, we had big plans from the start, didn't we?
Yeah. You weren't at the next show. I think we were just making it seem like Dan Zeplin was gone, that's it. You probably were there to watch the show, but we were just saving the storyline for a little bit later on.
Yeah, I don't know if I was actually there, because around that time I was sort of on and off with WZWA, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was keen for this Elite Alliance thing that we were heading towards.
Spoilers.
There, Hostile Backyard Showdown. You take on Alex Stone again, but you appear as El Queso Grande.
Oh, yeah, that was good fun.
Nice little swerve there. We all know that you actually portray EQG.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were just trying to make it seem like Dan Zeplin had borrowed EQG's mask to get one over on the Elite Alliance.
Yeah,
so
I think some of the crowd was a little bit confused at that. Were they like, I don't know if they thought that it was like EQG coming out as me, like whereas the storyline was supposed to be I just borrowed his gear.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't EQG all the time. I just borrowed his gear for that show.
They thought maybe this whole time EQG had just revealed himself to be Dan Zeplin.
Yeah, yeah, which was not the case.
Which was not the case, but
I think we got that over eventually, didn't we?
Yeah. But you're going to get that with, people being so fucking stupid, basically.
Well, no.
They're fucking stupid. All right.
Well, yeah.
Deacon comes out the last show, he reveals he's got the tag title now. Yeah. And everyone's like, what's he doing with the tag title belt? Yeah. Maybe he's revealing himself to be Ace's new partner, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, all these conspiracies.
Yeah. Alright, so there was a little bit of a... Not really a tiff, but Alex said he was very disappointed that you had to leave the show early.
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on with Hayley Hell?
Oh, yeah, it was my girlfriend at the time, man. This new WZWA thing was starting, and she just wasn't really into it. As I think we sort of discussed in the previous podcast, she didn't really want me doing basically anything that involved other people. So yeah, she made it hard for me to get to shows and shit like that. And I was still trying to sort of make the relationship work at that point. I don't know why, shouldn't have. So I was sort of, wanting to do what she wanted. Not completely. I was still fucking disappointed that I couldn't make it to shows and stuff. But yeah, she was making it pretty hard. So yeah, that show I had to leave early, which meant me and Alex only got to have like a 2-minute match, whereas we wanted to make it a proper sort of 10-minute thing. I
think the idea was like I'm giving Alex this easy win. But he can't seem to beat EQG, and he's getting more and more frustrated, and then eventually you end up fucking hitting the Devil Lock DDT, and but either way, it still worked, and I think
we got the storyline over. It was just disappointing that we couldn't sort of flesh it out with the match that we wanted to do.
Now, this will be a running thing with you and Alex in the future, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
with things happening at the wrong time.
Just a little teaser of what's to come in the podcast.
Christmas Carnage. Now, this was when I got upset at you. Now, I wasn't as upset at the EQG thing, because at least you made it. Yeah. But I had this grand idea that I've been thinking about for ages. During the show, we had Access All Areas, where Three Dog would dress up as Santa Claus, and then he would cop a super kick from me, and then he'd be thrown out the ring and whatever. Anyway, later on in the show, after the Battlefield Brawl, as we're attacking Brian Lowe in the ring, Santa Claus is supposed to come back out, but it's different size Santa Claus, but of course I'm stupid enough to think that it's the same one from earlier. I'm Wrestling like, get out of here, you fat piece of trash. Turns out to be you again. You've now dressed up as Santa Claus to get into the WZWA arena. But then you basically make the save for Lowe and get us, running away out the ring. But I don't know what the circumstances were why he couldn't show up.
I don't remember, but I'm sure it was probably the same problem. Girlfriend being shit. But yeah, I was really disappointed I couldn't make that one. That would have been an amazing addition to the storyline.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a really cool moment.
Yeah, because I love doing like the sort of the comedic segments and stuff like that. I don't like wrestling to be serious all the time. I love the comedic factor to it, just doing things that are a bit silly and entertaining. Yeah,
and I just thought it'd be a bit different. Like Dan Zeppelin's just trying to find different ways to fuck over me and Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so from there, Resolution 1. You do wrestle on the show as EQG in the first of a series of matches at Resolution against El Papacito.
Yeah.
We won't go into it in the other matches that you have, but talk briefly about how you feel the little series that you guys have at Resolution is.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. It's basically the only time you get to see EQG and El Papacito now. And for some reason, people always seem to be pretty pumped to see that match. I don't know why, because it's usually like rubbish, but I guess it is entertaining. We're always trying to think of different storylines and not storylines, different like match types and stuff like that we can do. Yeah, always trying to make it fun.
Excuse the plane overhead. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every year it's there's always that EQG Papacito match for comic.
Yeah,
relief.
it's sort of like a special thing for Resolution now, isn't it? It wouldn't be Resolution without the shitty masked character match.
Yeah, well, they have to get on the card every time now. But the series of matches have been pretty good. The second one was a softcore match.
Yeah.
Silly weapons.
That was fun. Although we forgot a few spots in that match, which was annoying. We were going to do quite a lot more. But with it being a secondary match for both of us, I guess we don't put too much effort and thought into it. So it's just unfortunate that we forget stuff, and it's not as good as it probably could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, as our proper characters, Dan Zeplin and Jack Wallace, we've got to put the focus on those matches rather than the less serious one.
Yeah. And speaking of less serious, video game match, Resolution 3.
Yeah. But actually, that's another one where we forgot a lot of stuff.
And Jack grabbed the wrong controller.
Yeah, we did a spot where he was supposed to grab the controller that was controlling me, because we were pretending to be video game characters. And he grabbed his own controller, which I didn't realise at the time, like in the match, so I sold it as if he grabbed my controller and he
I
was
was like, what are you
controlling me.
doing, dickhead?
Yeah, so that was annoying. And we forgot a lot of spots that would have been really good in that match as well, unfortunately.
But I think you pulled off the whole video game vibe pretty well.
Yeah, we did it. It just could have been a lot better than it was. I'm a bit disappointed, because it's not the sort of thing that we can do again.
No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
There won't be a rematch.
No.
Okay, so let's get to the big moment. One of my favourite moments in WZWA history, the big turn. You come out with a steel chair during the main event.
Yep.
You whack Brian Lowe out with a chair in a great little swerve, which nobody saw coming, Mitch. No one saw it coming. He reckons he saw it coming. I don't think so.
How could he?
How could he? You hit Alex in the gut with the chair first, then you hit Lowe with the chair after swinging at me.
Yeah.
Like, it looked totally like you were coming after me.
Yeah. Although, I guess it was Resolution. Something's bound to happen.
Something is bound to happen. Yeah.
And Mitch is pretty smart with that.
Yeah.
Little bastard.
So, thoughts on how it went and joining the EA?
We got a really good reaction, which I was really happy with. I think I was actually a bit concerned that people would know what was going to happen, as Mitch did, apparently. But yeah, we if I remember correctly, we got some nice pops for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. And obviously with the whole EA storyline planned out already for what, 6 months we've been planning it for? Something like that. So
I do recall Chris yelling from the crowd, "There's so many twists!"
Yeah, that's always a good thing to hear, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was really happy with that.
So great stuff, screwing over Brian Lowe, and now we're kicking off this feud properly now with the Rebellion.
Yeah,
getting the
into
show.
it.
Alex Stone beat Antilochus for the backyard title. I'm the heavyweight champion. We got Dan Zeplin involved as well.
Yeah.
So the next show, Aftershock, very infamous for a match between you and Brian Lowe. He did a 450 off a ladder onto you when you're on a table. Mm-hmm. That wasn't planned. I'm pretty sure that wasn't even... He wasn't going to hit a 450, was he?
Oh, before the match, he was like, I'm going to do a dive on you while you're on a table from the ladder on the outside. And he said, I'll probably do a swanton, or even just a normal senton, but I may do a 450. I'll see how I feel when I get on top of the ladder.
Like, I've never seen Lowe even practice a 450.
No,
so he
I don't know why he
for
thought
the
he could
first
have done
time off a ladder on the outside through a table onto you. And if he hit, that would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It would have looked so fucking good, because he came down with such velocity, but he missed the table.
He missed the table and face planted straight onto the grass from 10 feet in the air on the ladder.
So what's going through your mind when this happens? Are you trying to talk to him to see if he's all right?
No, well, he goes for the dive and he misses, and firstly he goes for the dive. I'm like, oh shit, he's not chubby, but he's solid built, and I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna hurt, but yeah, I'm ready, go for it. And then he dives, and I feel like a slight leg hit me or something, and I'm like, okay, don't know what happened there.
The table didn't
yeah,
break.
I'm still laying here. I shouldn't be still laying here. That something went wrong, didn't it? And I sort of look over, and people were rushing over to him, and he was just on the ground, clutching his face a little bit, I think. I was like, oh shit.
You had Ryan's mum. It was the only show that Ryan's mum went to.
Yeah,
she was like,
parents there. Good
she
fun.
was the nurse, and
Yeah.
Tim was all upset. End the match.
Yeah,
you know, how could you guys laugh at my cousin? He almost died.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, it is pretty funny. Like he's not hurt. He's okay.
Yeah. So eventually, I guess I figured out what was going on, or I didn't know that he face planted, but obviously that he may have been hurt or something. Yeah, I think he said to me in the match that he wanted to keep going, but then Tim just kept saying that we should end it. You know.
Yeah. So he beats you with a power bomb onto a garbage bin, a plastic garbage bin, which shatters.
Yeah.
So a good little match there, I think, despite the...
Yeah, it was good. It was unfortunate that it was called off early. I guess fair call. Looking back at the footage, it was a pretty brutal bump. But during the match, Brian said he was okay, so I wish we did continue, because we had some pretty wicked spots planned.
Cool.
But yeah, turned out to be what it was. It was still cool. It was still good.
Yep.
Good botch to look back on.
Yes. So from there, the next two shows you don't make it to. I believe it's Wham Bam Body Slam.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Hard Time to Day 1.
Yep.
We can't believe we did two hard times for Hard Time 2. We did Day 1 the first week and then Day 2 the following week, so we could get all the matches.
Yeah, it was a bit weird the way we did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we had the initial card, but like only half could make it the week after, and the other half could make the first week. So we did the first week, and then some of those people from the first week could come to the second week as well. So we had even more matches on that card. So it was quite a different kind of feel.
Yeah.
Not sure why you missed Wham Bam. I don't remember, so won't even bother with that. But Hard Time 2, Day 2, another infamous moment in the career of Dan Zeplin, the death match with Antilochus.
Yes. Probably one of the most memorable matches in Dan Zeplin's career.
I haven't even had the chance to talk about this in any of my podcasts so far.
Here we go then.
I haven't talked to anyone about it, really.
Yeah.
So
you haven't interviewed Jacob.
No, so...
Who are you going to interview about it?
Ice.
Or me.
Ask him about
Isn't it a good thing we're podcasting right now?
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Antilochus, Dan Zeplin, death match. Introduction of light tubes in WZWA.
Yeah. Basically, me and Jacob have always been good friends since we met. Really, we're into the same sort of music and all that sort of shit. Good friends.
Very good dude.
Both always been into the hardcore style of wrestling. So yeah, we knew once we were booked in a death match, we knew we just needed to fucking step it up and do stuff that nobody's ever seen before.
Well, before that, we kept saying Extreme Rules match or hardcore match. Now I don't know why, but we just said this is a death match.
Yeah, death match. I guess just to make it sound more brutal, right?
Yeah.
We both want it to be as brutal as possible.
So whose idea was it to introduce the light tubes? Because you touched on it a little bit in ICWS, but not to the extent of what we saw with you and Jacob.
Yeah. I don't know, really. I don't know who came up with it. I think might have been Jacob who suggested it. I don't know. Whoever suggested it, we were both keen as hell. Because at that point, light tubes had never been used, except for the odd match in ICWS.
Yeah. Well, the reaction was pretty incredible.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he shattered that first light tube over his head.
Yeah, over him.
Or was it over your head?
Over my head.
Was it over your head?
Yeah. He ducked my light tube shot. He took it out of my hand and he smashed it over my head. I remember thinking of that spot, and I was like, "That's how we need to start the match. Like, if we do that at the start,
that just sets the
match.
tone.
Yeah, it can't fail. Everyone knows they're in for a fucking ride watching this match."
Yeah, and love the moment. I mean, I think someone told me that the tying the light tube to the back with the superplex was stupid. I thought that was one of the most creative. It was Delcano that told me that.
Okay.
I thought it was one of the most creative ways to use a light tube.
Well, yeah, that's funny you say that, because that's actually what I was trying to do. I didn't want it to just be like us smashing the shit out of each other with light tubes. I wanted to try and do some creative stuff with it.
I know a lot of the pros were very... when they saw this match, this was the match that they all targeted as...
yeah. Well, naturally, I mean, their thoughts already is, oh, backyard wrestling is stupid, why would you do that? You know, fuck. So if they see light tubes, they're just going to jump on that straight away, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to target, really, which makes sense.
Yeah. I think, from memory, you copped a little bit of flack as the cameraman for EPW at the time.
Yeah. I was working for EPW by then. Yeah. EPW wrestlers would come up to me, JT especially, and they'd like to tease me a little bit about using the light tube and stuff. It was lighthearted, I think. I don't think they were trying to be cunts or anything. They're just sort of, ribbing into their mate.
No malice.
No. It amused me though, because I've always been a bit amused by the pro wrestling versus backyard wrestling thing. So sort of being the target of it, I sort of lapped it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, that match was almost match of the year. I think it was in the contenders anyway. One of the nominees in the voting for match of the year, and it really changed how we saw hardcore wrestling in WZWA.
Yeah.
Especially within the next year. But we'll get to that. I've got that section coming up about that stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're going to talk about there.
Yes. So Dan Zeplin, after that, you join us for War Games at Autumn Brawl. It's me, you, Alex Stone, against the new rebellion of Ryan Tate, Brian Lowe, and Antilochus.
Yeah.
This is infamous for the Ryan Tate heel turn, joining the Elite Alliance.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty fun match.
Oh yeah, and I love that moment as well. Is anything you tell Ryan to do, he fucking nails it. Storyline wise, match wise, like spot wise, even anything you want him to do, he will nail it. He just does such a good job of everything. So that moment where he turned heel and joined EA, he killed it.
Yeah, he's just almost of a one-of-a-kind person, Ryan Tate.
Yeah.
In my view. Every little detail he'll always remember, and he'll always get it right every single time.
That's it. Yeah.
I tell him, okay, you've been attacked in the back, so he comes out pretending to be hurt, and then he comes in, and straight away, Antilochus in the head with the chair.
Yeah.
But don't make it look like you're going to do it. And then he remembers all those little details, and every time you see him do the performance that you've asked him to do, he does everything that you ask of him.
Oh yeah, he's such a performer. Such a performer. He all the little things that make wrestling, sort of believable. He'll do it. Like he's got those little touches that just make it so good.
Facial expressions, all the
yeah.
All right, but it's great to have a fourth member of the EA now.
Yeah.
We're growing.
Starting to piss everyone off.
Yep, slowly but surely. The next show is Circus of Pain. I believe you and Alex Stone are not there, but Lila joins the Elite Alliance.
Yeah.
In the tables, ladders, and chairs match between Ryan Tate and Brian Lowe.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on Lila joining the Elite Alliance?
Oh, great! It's what we needed. For a big stable to have a female involved, it just it adds that other element. It's like it's a big thing, it's a serious thing. Like,
I'm pretty sure you were there for that, weren't you? I'm pretty sure you were there.
I think I was there.
Because remember we did the group hug. Because Lily was so excited.
Yeah.
You must have been there, but I don't know why you weren't on the card.
I don't
know.
Yeah, maybe I had to leave early or something. I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah, great moment.
This happens quite a bit. There will be times where I can't see someone on the card, so I just can't remember what the deal was. Jim's Yarding, the following show. The World Hardcore Championship Tournament is continuing.
Yep.
You slide in there to take on Kilowatt Chaos. Basically, you're a wild card entrant because I wanted ICWS to do their leg of the tournament so that you and Antilochus and
That's
myself
right,
and some others that didn't have the opportunity to be in the WZWA leg of the tournament could actually be a part of it.
That's right, yeah.
It seemed like more of a thing that both ICWS and WZWA could be doing, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Yeah, we couldn't get an ICWS show booked, unfortunately.
No.
I think my parents were pretty over it by that time, so they were like, sort of about shows. They didn't really want to do them, and at that stage we didn't really have another place to do shows. So yeah, it would have been really cool to get ICWS in on it, to sort of cover all the WA feds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't happen, unfortunately.
And give everyone that's been known to do something hardcore involved.
Yeah, give everyone a chance. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Like even Lowe wasn't in the tournament, and Jacob, the hardcore superstar,
and that was some of the most hardcore dudes in the Fed. Yeah.
Alright, so you wrestled Kilowatt Chaos. I remember the camera cut out during the match, and it kind of buckled your momentum in the match, and so the match didn't end up probably the way that a Zeplin Chaos match has in the past.
Oh yeah, I was disappointed with that one. I think the camera cutting out definitely did screw us up, basically.
Because when that happens, then it's just like
you just want to, you just want to like lock in a rest hold or something, wait till the camera's sorted. But yeah, if it takes a few minutes to get that sorted, then it just kills the momentum.
Yeah,
because you don't want to be doing cool things when the camera's not on you, of course. Because half the reason we do this is to watch back the video.
Yeah.
So I was pretty disappointed with that because me and Chaos again are some of the most hardcore dudes in the Fed. So yeah, we're really hoping to knock it out of the park. We did good, I think. But yeah, definitely could have been a lot better.
I think after everyone's seen the Antilochus match, they had the bar set so high
expectations as well. Yeah.
So when we have things against your control that kind of kill the momentum, then it's kind of hard to raise the bar again, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's like you're almost on a little deathmatch tour here.
Yeah.
You go from Hard Time 2 against Antilochus, then Jim's Yarding versus Kilowatt Chaos, and now Frostbite Deathmatch versus Three Dog.
Yep.
So, how did you feel this one went?
With Three Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun wrestling Three Dog, actually. He's sort of like Chaos on Ice, where he's sort of like a big dude. He's going to throw you around and stuff, but he's sort of like a teddy bear. You won't really feel a whole lot. He's always keen to do whatever the hell you want, super hardcore spots and shit like that. He always wants to entertain.
I think it really only touched the surface of what you and Three Dog could do in a death match.
Definitely. We could put on an amazing match. But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't really.
It didn't click.
Yeah,
it was alright. It was good, but it didn't click the way that you would expect it to.
Yeah. Was that the first time we wrestled? I think it was. Yeah. So yeah, I think if we wrestled again, even though it's been so long now.
Well, he's so much better now than he was.
Yeah.
Back then, he was. Sometimes he'd have a fucking thrilling match, and other times it would be a bit
messy as hell. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've definitely got an excellent match in us together. If he comes back.
He should be back.
But yeah, it was a good match, I think, but definitely could have flowed better and stuff like that.
Yeah. Finished at the match. I was supposed to hold a skateboard with light tubes attached to it on him, right in front of his head as he's dazed.
Yeah.
But he just grabbed the skateboard himself and held it to his head and said, "Do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that was a bit silly?
Yeah.
Would have you preferred me to?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess he was sort of trying to get over that he was, hardcore motherfucker, or that sort of jive.
But what a dickhead.
Yeah, like realistically, in a fight, why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you take the most brutal thing ever and then lose the match?
Yeah, but the move still got a pop.
It did.
I remember he was standing a bit too close, so I sort of had to fold myself in half to do the drop kick in the skinny space, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still cool. Still got a pop, so did the job, I guess.
So I want to also talk. This is the situation I wanted to bring up you're the one that introduces the light tube.
Yeah.
Now, does it bother you at this point to see, oh, well, Dan did it and it got such a great pop, now I'm going to do it? So now you got all these I'm not going to mention names, but there's 3 or 4 different guys who kept on using the fucking light tubes. And I said several times, you do realise that's Dan Zeplin's thing. That's his thing.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. That was supposed to be sort of like my signature weapon, because I was, excuse me, I was the hardcore icon, would you say? That, you know, the hardcore dude in WZWA.
The deathmatch icon.
Yeah, the deathmatch guy. The guy that fucked himself up and didn't give a shit. So yeah, light tubes were supposed to be sort of my signature weapon. They were only supposed to be used in my matches. And it wasn't like I was the only one using them on the offense. It was, you know, my opponents got in.
The opponent got to use them.
Yeah, my opponent got to use them as well. So it wasn't like it was
down when everyone else starts to use them.
Yeah, so yeah, everyone else started to use them in their matches. It was cool for maybe a show or two, but then it got old very, very quickly. It was basically a bit of a dick measuring contest. Like, everyone was sort of like, who's the most hardcore?
And the thing is, like, light tubes don't even hurt. Like, okay, maybe it starts to cut up your body a little bit if you keep landing on the shards of glass in the ring and stuff. But really, trying to have a dick measuring contest over a thing that doesn't actually hurt when you get hit with it. Yeah,
that's it. It was sort of like the thing to do if you wanted to have a really hardcore match. But it shouldn't have been. It should have been like the thing that's only used at Resolution, or only used at, you know, the super big feud-ending hardcore matches.
Yeah.
It should not have been used at every show. There was some amazing spots with it, and definitely respect the dudes for taking some of those bumps and shit. But, yeah, it's definitely used too much and not quite in the right way.
Yeah. But yeah, once again, not mentioning names, but there were 3 or 4 different people who just fucking ended up kind of ruining it almost. It started off something special, and then it was...
Yeah, it started off getting crazy pops and stuff, but then, people were using them too much, and the crowd just wouldn't really give a shit. Like, the crowd should give a shit.
And people weren't even popping anymore.
Yeah, the crowd should pop like crazy when someone is getting hit with a tube of glass. Like, that's fucking brutal. And as you said, like, bumping on them for the rest of the match is probably worse than actually, you know, getting hit with them.
It's worse than the bump is actually having all the little bits stuck in you.
Yeah, for every other bump.
Didn't you have times where, like, it would catch on you? Like,
I had times where there was glass stuck in my shoulder and I had to, like, pull it out. And I think... I remember distinctly one time Alex, I think he was the cameraman, or he might have been in my corner because it was the EA period.
Yeah.
Either way, I looked over on my shoulder because it was hurting a little bit, and I had a giant piece of glass like stuck like a centimeter deep. And I went over to the corner that Alex was standing in, and I pulled it out in front of him, and I think he almost vomited. Because Alex has always been one for you know, he's not into like blood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a bit grossed
of a weak
out.
Stomach.
Yeah, he was always a bit grossed out when the light tube stuff happened.
Next show's Hardcore Hell, where we finally crown the World Hardcore Champion for the first time after a tournament that spanned about, I think at this stage, about 10 months from the first match in the tournament at Resolution 1. We finally get to the end where it's Kilowatt Chaos, 3Dog, and Rex Regum in a 3-way. Initially, I did want whoever the winner of the ICWS tournament was to face Chaos in the finals at Hardcore Hell. That was the idea.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a half and half thing. Like, half the tournament was at WZW, half was at ICW. The winners would face. Which was such a good structure. I love that idea. I wish we could have made that happen.
It would be amazing if one day maybe we could do something like that, but...
Yeah, well, you know ICWS is going these days, so it's possible now. We'll have to try and sort something out.
Cool. Well, at Hardcore Hell, it was always my idea to have Kilowatt Chaos become the first champion, because since he'd been in WZWA, he hadn't really done anything yet. He had a little feud with Rex Regum, Dark Ice, but other than that, little feud with Alex Stone, nothing too much to sink his teeth into. Then he was in the tournament, then he finally got to win the World Championship, so pretty big moment for him. But you were going to be popped into that match as a wild card entry by yours truly, the Commissioner. But I think you must have had work on the day.
I think I was working that day, yeah.
So, but still, that match is a very big match in the history of WZWA.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess maybe you might have watched it back on the internet or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I watched all the recaps.
I mean, right at the... I mean, the match had been so brutal that the middle of the ring was just piles of broken weapons and
yeah,
and all this barbed wire and everything. So
yeah, I
really,
remember hearing about that afterwards, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
From there, there's a feud brewing at this stage between the Elite Alliance and Legion of Mykonos and Three Dog.
Yeah.
And there's a show called Battle War Revolution, where I'm actually supposed to team with Alex Stone to take on Legion, but Alex doesn't make the show, so you become my tag partner.
Yep.
And I thought it was a match that didn't have any planning, very good tag match, and I thought you and I had a lot of chemistry as a tag team.
We worked so well together, yeah. I was surprised how well we worked together, actually. So we had good matches against each other in the past, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was curious to how we would work together, but I think before the match we planned out that basically I was the high flyer, you were the powerhouse, so we worked together as a team in that way, and I think that definitely made the match.
Yeah, and like, because I know what you can do.
Yeah,
So I think we did come up with the idea beforehand of you doing the sliced bread to me, but I let go and you do the splash.
Yeah, no, I splashed them, yeah.
But there were other times where I just called moves, like I put them in the backbreaker and you did a leg drop off the second rope onto their throat.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why it worked so well, because we both know each other so well from wrestling each other. So working together is sort of the same deal. We know each other so well, we can just call something on the fly and the other person will know what we want to happen.
Yeah, but once again, another match where the filming was fucked. And,
yeah.
I think it only missed about a minute, but I think during that minute was like when we did some really cool shit, which sucks.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah, but anyway, moving forward from there, the next show is Christmas Carnage 2013, where Alex Stone puts on a bachelor party to start off the show.
Yeah. I remember being so excited for this period of the EA because there was just so many entertaining promos and stuff like that we had planned, and I was just so excited to pull it all off. Because as I said before, I'm into all the entertaining stuff rather than just the wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had so much planned. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, there were several segments dedicated to everything that was going on between me and Alex, and you guys all being involved as well.
Yeah, really building the characters and the storylines. I think that was so important to the EA. If we didn't do all those segments, it would have just been, another storyline.
Yeah.
Whereas the segments and the storylines and stuff just made it so important.
Yeah.
Everyone was invested in that.
And I love the bachelor party, how, like, we've got the table set up with all the booze. We all come out for the bachelor party, and then we just sit down and just hang out.
Yeah, just to piss everyone off.
Everyone's just getting fucking do something.
I remember the plan beforehand was like, we're just going to sit there and talk for like 10 minutes just to piss everyone off.
Yeah. I think I was just like, so Ryan, how's work, man? Like,
yeah.
Stupid shit like that.
Yeah. It worked well though. I think everyone was legitimately...
And Hank. Hank made the segment. You can't write that shit.
yeah, that's it.
So Circus Royale ruined the segment for us, and I get a pie in the face, ruin my bachelor party. Me and Alex Stone face Circus Royale later on in a tag team match. They win via roll up on Alex Stone. I blame him for the loss, obviously. Kick him between the legs. Alex Stone is out of the Elite Alliance. I think now was the perfect time to pull the trigger on Alex turning babyface, because he was already getting positive reactions because everyone loves Alex.
Yeah.
Even though he was such a great heel.
Yeah.
So moving forward from there, the Crude Wedding.
Yeah.
You are the celebrant of the proceedings.
Yeah.
Memories, thoughts on how it went down?
That was so much fun. That was probably my favourite segment that I've been a part of. Just because it was so big, like storyline wise, like that. I think the wedding made it probably the biggest storyline in WZWA history so far, or at least one of the biggest. Just getting the storyline was so involved outside of the actual wrestling matches, which I think is important when you're trying to do like a main event storyline.
Yep.
And yeah, just the wedding itself was so fun. The reaction we got, I think I was considerably drunk for it as well.
I think we all were.
Yeah, we all were by that point. Yeah. So it was what, like 10 p.m. by the time we were filming.
Oh, it must have been, yeah. Because we hadn't even got to the Rumble yet.
Yeah. Still the Rumble after that. Fuck's sake.
Like I'm pretty sure we had 2 matches to go after that, then the Rumble. So it went pretty late that night.
Yeah.
But scaling back, that was probably the most fun segment to be a part of.
Like so different from everything as well. Like something like that will never happen again.
No.
So
I couldn't think of a situation that would call for something like that to happen again.
No.
Unless Alex Stone had a wedding.
Yeah. You ruined his wedding with Stone.
But scaling back, earlier in the show, you do wrestle JD Flame. We're
Yep.
starting off a storyline with him. We offer him to join the EA or get a backyard title shot. He joins EA, then hits Ryan Tate with a cutter.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, you've just hit Ryan with a cutter, so now you got to go through the Cannibal Dan Zeplin if you want a backyard title match.
Yeah.
And so this match with you and Justin, he was very stoned apparently. Don't know if you
Really?
did you listen to his podcast?
I did, but I didn't realise it was our match that he was talking about.
Yeah, he said he couldn't believe that the show that he had 2 matches in a row. He was really stoned.
Oh, no way. I was not aware of that. That's news to me right now. Yeah, I remember him saying in his podcast that he was stoned for a match, but I didn't realise that was ours.
Yes.
Although, yeah, now that you've said that, I'm not surprised.
I'm not sure if you have many memories of that match with him, but I want to get your thoughts on the new Justin.
Was that the Cannibal's Rules match?
No, that was the following show.
Following year. Following show. Never mind.
But the new Justin, he's not like who he was in ICWS.
Oh, no way. Such a different person. Yeah, like so mellow now, just chilled. Really easy to plan a match with and stuff like that. Yeah, new Justin was a lot better to deal with than the old Justin.
Yeah, he's just a totally new person, and
oh yeah. If you put their personalities together, you wouldn't think they're the same person.
Yeah, no way. All right, so next show, Resolution 2. We start off the show with Still Kemsley's Resolution party. So he's having a dance party in the ring with a bunch of masked wrestlers.
Yep.
Gets interrupted by Acid. Acid asks why he was invited to the party, attacks him. Match begins immediately. Sanctioned immediately. Acid gets the win. Afterward, EA surround Acid. Alex Stone makes the save with a chair, drops the chair. Acid picks up the chair as Alex is yelling at us at ringside, and then Acid wails Alex Stone in the back with the chair, joins the Elite Alliance. Your thoughts on Acid being in the Elite Alliance and his time with us?
Oh, fuck yeah, that was so good. So we'd already had, 3-4 people in the EA?
Me, you, Ryan. Oh, well, it was Alex. Not there anymore.
Yeah, so 3 people.
So pretty much Acid's replacing Alex.
Yeah, so 3 people plus a female, Lila, plus a black dude. A black dude is what we needed. For, 3 white guys, a female, and a black dude. Now that's a stable in a wrestling company.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
you need a token black guy.
That's it.
And you're going well.
Yeah. See, the EA was multicultural. Maybe we had bad morals in other ways, but at least we were multicultural.
Yeah. Resolution 2, Zeplin versus JD Flame, Cannibal's Rules.
Yep.
I remember I booked a Cannibals Rules match and I didn't even know what it was yet. And I said, Dan, come up with something. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we had to come up with a match type. Yeah, I remember spending ages thinking about that. And I don't know where the idea came from, because it was my idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the idea was that we had basically a weapon tied up to every turnbuckle or post on the turnbuckle. So you had to climb the turnbuckle, get the weapon, and, use it, I guess. And I think every weapon had to be used before the match could end.
Yeah, and I think then it was a 10 count.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, knockout after every weapon had been used, wasn't it? Yeah.
But Justin was very reserved about the idea
Yeah.
of doing something that was hardcore.
Yeah, well, he's always sort of been against the hardcore stuff. He'd done quite a bit of it, but yeah, he'd never really been into it, had he? I think the Cannibals Rules match was definitely a good idea. I really like it on paper, but actually executing it was a bit difficult. There was probably ways we could have done it better. Maybe JD Flame wasn't the best opponent for it as well, at least for the first one. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another one of those because I really think the stipulation has a lot of legs to get going with the right opponent. Maybe with Antilochus or something like that, it could really work well.
Okay. So also Resolution 2, Rusty versus Aston Crude.
Yep.
I guess you're kicking back watching this match.
Mm-hmm.
What are your memories of seeing Rusty in the WZWA arena?
Oh, it was nuts. As I said in the previous podcast, he's one of the dudes that all of us looked up to when we were just wrestling on couch cushions back at DJ's old place. So to have him actually fly over to Perth, basically just to do a show with us, yeah, it was nuts to see it.
Such an honour.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this guy's flown over for us. Like, we've done something that he likes, so he's coming to do it with us. And with him, like, being one of the dudes we looked up to, it was just nuts to see him do that.
I had so much fun just having him at my house.
Oh, yeah, outside of the ring, so good to hang with.
Yeah,
just such a great dude.
So cool. Like, I pick him up from the airport, we go back to mine, drop his stuff off, go straight to the pub.
Yeah.
We both get a steak.
Yeah.
And then, next few days, show him a lot of all of our footage, ICWS and XCW and WZWA, and yeah, it was really cool to have him a part of it, and yeah, you must have been spun out knowing. Rusty's
definitely, yeah. Like, me and DJ were like, shit, Rusty's like actually here. I've met him now. Wow. And I remember Eli, even though he was like well into the pro scene by now, he was pretty stoked that Rusty was over here.
Yeah. And once again, as we said in the previous one, hope to get him back.
Yeah.
At some point. Because all I keep thinking is, I need to see Zeplin Rusty. I need to see that match. It has to happen.
That's the match. Well, last time when he was here, that was the match that had to happen. So, no offense to you, of course, but I think your match was sort of secondary to the death match between me and him.
Yeah, of course.
Because that was sort of near the end of the really hardcore era, I think, that WZWA was having.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still in that era. So everyone was really keen to see a hardcore match, considering Rusty came from Tournament of Hate, which is a super fucking hardcore tournament, for anyone who doesn't know. So yeah, everyone... So me being... Yeah, a bit of a plug for them. Me being like one of the most hardcore dudes in the Fed against a guy from Tournament of Hate, that was like one of the main attractions for Rusty coming over.
Yeah. Well, hopefully one day we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Resolution 2, not much else really to talk about involving the Elite Alliance, just a few matches here and there. But we get to Combat Crisis the following show. There's a 4-way hardcore match with yourself, Acid, Mike Delcano and JD Flame. Mike Delcano's just made his return. Do you have many memories of that 4-way? It was supposed to have Ryan as well, but Ryan had injured his shoulder thanks to...
yeah, the shoulder injury. What match was it, sorry? Who was in it again?
You, Delcano, Flame, and Acid.
Yeah, I remember it being quite messy, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mike wasn't very happy with it.
Yeah, I don't think it really worked. I don't remember too much from it, but yeah, I just remember being disappointed with it. Because me and Mike have always put on amazing matches together. So we're hoping to obviously do that again while incorporating the other guys. But yeah, it didn't really work. We probably should have worked out the psychology a lot more. Should have probably done the thing where sort of two people are just facing, the other two are outside the ring, knocked out or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, so we could really showcase each person against each other. But yeah, it ended up just being a clusterfuck. All of us were trying to do something at once and that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
So it didn't work too well.
The next show is WZWA Pro Wrestling. You wrestle Mykonos in a match. So I'm going to give a little backstory here whilst Dan does a wee. Basically, I was trying to build Dan for something that was supposed to be a surprise the following show, which was going to be Hard Time 3. So I had spoke to Dan, and Dan felt very strongly about going over in the match due to what we were building up to for Hard Time 3. But at the same time, Mykonos wanted to win the match because he felt that he needed the momentum heading towards, at the time, the Aussie Heavyweight Championship, which ended up getting pushed back further because DJ wanted to feud with Acid at the time. So then the idea was to put the belt on Acid, and then Mitch beat Acid for the belt later in the year. But anyway, pro wrestling takes place. Mykonos 1-on-1 with the Cannibal Dan Zeplin. I think it had been raining a little bit during the day. So Zeplin, do you have any memories of maybe any difficulties with that match with Mitch? It was the first time you guys have wrestled since ICWS.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember anything me saying to you, he wants to win the match, I don't know what to do, because, I think you should win?
Yeah, it was one of those situations where we both needed the win, really.
Because he'd just lost at Combat Crisis to DJ, but the previous show, he beat Phaser.
Yeah.
Whereas you did win at Resolution, but you also lost the 4-way at Combat Crisis.
Yeah, we're both trying to be built up.
Yeah, so I guess it was just...
someone's got to take the loss, really.
Paths crossed at the wrong time.
Yeah. And I think with the match as well, we were a little disappointed. I don't think it was a bad match at all, but we both felt like we definitely could have done better. We planned hard for that one, I think. I think we planned pretty much most of the match, if I remember correctly. But yeah, me and Mitch, our chemistry's... I think it's taken a while to get there. Yeah, the first couple of matches, they worked, but with us both being quite good wrestlers, it should have been better, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's definitely potential between me and Mitch, but we just haven't quite reached it yet.
Okay, so let's get to it. The biggest event in your career in WZWA, as far as I'm concerned, Hard Time 3. The main event is booked for Alex Stone, Dark Ice, and Aston Crude in a 3-way for the WZWA Heavyweight Championship. I throw you in just before the match begins as the 4th member of the match to make it a 4-way.
Yeah.
So we've been hanging out previously quite a bit, going to the Bayswater Hotel for pints quite often.
Twice a week or so?
Twice a week, usually. That's just an off week. But I love the fact that no one even thought you were going to be a part of the match beforehand, and then you become the heavyweight champion.
Boom. Swerved him again.
But before we get there, Alice debuts as your valet.
Yep.
So finally we get the girlfriend involved.
You.
So talk a little bit about the idea of bringing her in to be a valet.
Well, it seems that naturally when one of us has a girlfriend, they tend to be a valet, don't they? Like Ryan's girlfriend got into it. That's the only example I can think of right now. Maybe that's the only one.
Belinda did the wedding.
Oh, Belinda, yeah. But the girlfriends seem to get involved in some way.
Yeah. At least the dedicated ones. I mean, Chaos's woman wants to be involved eventually.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know about that. That's
I don't know if it'll ever happen, but she did say she wants to,
She could kick ass. She could be a wrestler.
She'd be pretty fucking good, I reckon.
And get Ranger, their dog, in the corner. Hank versus Ranger. There we go. There's a match for the future. Look forward to that, folks.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing Hank get his ass kicked finally.
But yeah, getting Alice involved was good. She's the new girlfriend, much better than the last one. The last one didn't want anything to do with the wrestling. This one loves it. because she was already sort of in the group anyway.
Yeah, but why? Did you talk to her about it and say like, "Oh, do you want to do this?" Or did she say to you, "Oh, I'd like to be a valet"?
I think everyone sort of just expected it to happen. Because, as I said, she was already sort of in the friend group. So,
well, she was going to be the valet for the rebellion.
Yeah, and she was already going to be a valet beforehand for different people. So yeah, I think everyone just expected it, and she was fairly happy to do it. So yeah, it just sort of fell into place.
Do we want to talk about the situation that led to you and her becoming an item?
Oh, I don't mind.
Well, we did talk about the Eli thing, so I figured you might
talk
not
about the other deep one.
You might not be too bothered talking about this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he doesn't seem to be too bothered by it.
Oh no, it's all good now anyway.
But I do remember Resolution 2. A conversation took place after the end of the show. We were all hanging out, having drinks with Rusty and chilling. During this time, you had been saying to me that you and her had hung out a couple of times.
Yeah.
Now, for those playing at home, she was Brian Lowe's ex-girlfriend. I distinctly remember, because Rusty knew as well.
Yeah,
I think he told him as well.
Yeah.
And Lowe said something to the...
Yeah.
Something like, "Oh, if any of my friends ever went there, I'd be so fucking angry at them," or something like that. I didn't think he'd say he'd fuck them up or anything, but he just said like he'd be
really fucking
angry or whatever. So I remember that. I remember looking at you going, "Fuck."
Yeah, and you and I and Rusty sort of just looked at each other, like trying not to react to that statement.
Because hadn't like Monet seen you two hanging out in the city?
Yeah, we accidentally ran into Monet as well, so I think he was aware of it too.
He was sceptical.
So yeah, we were all sort of like, oh, we got to try not to react to this because we all know what's happening.
We all know what's going on. So how did he eventually find out about it, and how did you talk about it with him?
Oh, we found out because it was put on Facebook. Yeah, we eventually sort of officially started dating, so it was obviously put on Facebook as it is, because that's how it's made official, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a bit, he was pissed off. And then there was Jacob, who was also very good friends with him at that time. But I was also very good friends with Jacob, so he was sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I managed to smooth it over with them. Well, with Lowe especially, of course. So it was okay in, a few weeks' time. He was still sort of a little bit, I was still the guy that was dating his ex-girlfriend for, a few months at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually it was all good. And everything's fine now. We chat happily now, so. And he's got a new girlfriend, so.
Yeah, he seems to be very happy with where he's at in life at the moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a bit of an awkward thing for a while. Me and Lowe sort of avoided conversation a little bit for a couple of shows there as well.
Yeah.
It sorted itself out. I managed to sort it all out, make sure everything was okay. Because I really like Lowe. Like, it was unfortunate that Rihanna just happened to be his ex-girlfriend, basically. It was. I didn't want to sort of be on his bad side or anything by dating his ex-girlfriend. But yeah, these things happen.
Yeah.
Turned out okay. So
okay. So she debuts. You're in the 4-way match. Blade Shaw debuts.
Yeah.
Helps you win the championship. Comes out, wipes Alex Stone out with the chair.
Yeah.
At this point, Ice is backstage brawling with Rex Regum. So and then you're the one that happens to be in the ring at the time. I'm on the outside. So Blade just grabs you, puts you on top. Just by chance, all of a sudden, Dan Zeplin's the heavyweight champion.
Ding, 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 winner.
How did it feel?
Oh, fucking great.
Because that was a huge reaction.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was a debut of Blade, right?
Yeah.
So not only was there the reaction of that, but also the surprise reaction of me winning the championship, considering I wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. So yeah, that was really good, because I think that was one of my main goals for WZWA, because obviously I'd been the headliner for ICWS for a long time, so I wanted to do something special in WZWA, this new fed that had popped up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess winning the title was the thing to aim for.
I think you did have reservations, because I think you always felt, I'm not really good enough for it.
Yeah, I did feel that as well, because...
But I was like, dude, you got to remember who you were. And who you were is who you still are now.
Yeah.
Like, people just need to be reminded that Dan Zeplin was the headliner. Dan Zeplin was a big deal. And he's been doing his thing in the mid-card and upper mid-card and just helping this Elite Alliance storyline go along. But now we need to put him back in a prominent spot.
Yeah, well, I think that was around the time where I started feeling like I wasn't really as good as the other wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because there was people like Luke Monet and Antilochus coming up, and they were fucking amazing dudes.
Yeah.
Pulling off good matches every single show, whereas I was quite disappointed with a lot of my matches. People said they loved my matches, but yeah, just personally, I wasn't too happy with a lot of them. I wasn't too sure that I'd really earned the championship spot, but as you just put it, being a headliner for WA Backyard Wrestling, I guess I was sort of in a place to take the championship, at least for a little while.
Yeah, plus you'd won every other title except for the XCW one, obviously, which you wouldn't have been capable of getting that to happen, but
one day.
But WZWA Heavyweight title, just add that to the collection. I think after me, I think you might be the next closest with heavyweight title reigns.
Yeah, and actually on that point, it was really amazing to have a real title. Because all the belts in WA beforehand were just cardboard, made by me as well. So having an actual real like metal and leather title belt, it was like, oh wow, I've actually, like, this is a belt. I didn't make this in my backyard with cardboard. I've actually won this piece of leather and metal that looks professional, feels like I've actually sort of done something proper.
Yeah. All right. Well, go inside and put your Coke in the fridge if that's what you want to do. But I got a question to ask you about being heavyweight champion.
Yeah, right. Go ahead. Yeah, no, he's taking a draw of his fag.
Question is, any reaction in the EPW locker room?
From being the champion, specifically? Not that I remember. I think it was just still sort of the general thing, like I was the backyard wrestler working for the pro company.
So no one said anything to you like you won the championship? That's funny.
No, not really. Actually, no. No, they didn't say anything, but I remember that was a show where... Robbie Eagles.
Formerly known as James Sinite.
Yeah. He came to wrestle an EPW show because he was he's a professional wrestler now, and he's doing very, very well for himself. He's an incredible wrestler in the pros. But he used to be a backyard wrestler, quite well known in the same circuit as Rusty and Tommy Taboo and stuff, which we looked up to.
In the same class of Hall of Famers, aren't
In the same class as Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to the EPW show. I think it was the same day.
It must
as
have
the
been.
day I won the championship. Yeah. I went to work on their show, taking photos, and I walked into the locker room, and I saw him, and he locked eyes with me, and the first thing he said was something about WZWA. He had WZWA written on his wrist tape, and he showed it to me straight away as soon as he saw me. We'd never met before or anything, but as soon as I walked into the locker room, he's like, "Oh man, I've got this on my wrist tape."
Why? Why did he do it?
I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't know if he even really knew about us that much.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't really know how he knew who I was. I don't know if Rusty had talked to him or if he'd actually been watching our stuff or something like that. But yeah, as soon as I walked into the locker room, he knew who I was, and he was like, "Man, look at this! I put WZWA on my wrist tape." I was like, "Oh, okay."
How strange.
Guess what, man? I just won the WZWA World Championship today. That's not what it's called, is it? It's not the World Championship.
As well, you know, it could
Is it?
be. It could be a world title. Who knows?
Anyway.
Not a world title yet. Well, if it gets defended overseas, then it becomes a world title, apparently.
Okay.
That's the rule.
Alright, next time someone goes to Bali.
Alright, so you're the heavyweight champion now. A lot of pressure. But we get to War Games 2. Not as good as the first War Games. We take on the Stone Army.
Yeah.
Justin can't wrestle because of his back injury, but me, you, Acid, Ryan Tate take on Alex Stone, Delcano, and Mykonos with JD Flame knocked out at ringside.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as the first one.
No.
Don't know why, it just didn't click.
Yeah, it just didn't really work, eh? I mean, I wouldn't say it was a bad match at all. Yeah, I don't know. It just sort of had the caliber of a regular match, didn't it? It wasn't really like the huge thing that it should have been.
I think what it lacked was planning a whole bunch of different hardcore spots with tables and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we should have just done one thing after another that took someone out of the match.
Yeah.
And then take another person out of the match. And then it finally gets down to me and Alex, and then Alex can make me tap out. So from there, we have a random show called Lana's Ass, which actually has the recap has the second most views on our page, other than that Alex Stone Antipicus match, which has about 13,000 views.
Well, it's called Lana's Ass, so that's the reason.
I think that's
really.
what it is. I think everyone searches Lana's Ass.
Yeah, and it gets all the YouTube hits. But sucked in, they want to see Lana's Ass, and they just see some fucking backyarders tossing around in the ring.
But you main event the show against DJ. DJ was going to be leaving soon.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was going to go back to pros.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get that Dan Zeplin, Daniel Johnston match for the first time since fucking...
Yeah, because I think that's a match he wanted before he left, wasn't it?
Yeah, he wanted a few with people he hadn't wrestled, but also like one with you who hadn't wrestled since like
some of his classic opponents. Yeah, because we'd always put on good matches, as I think we said in previous podcasts. We'd always put on good matches. But yeah, this one I don't think it was as good as we hoped and expected.
I think it just didn't click.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't work.
You would have thought.
Yeah, you know, both the ICWS icons wrestling each other, even though we've wrestled each other so many times, it just didn't work. I don't know why.
I think another match will be in order at some point, but
yeah, you know, maybe just a bad day on both of our parts or one of our parts. I don't know, something like that. But yeah. But
I will say I was pretty proud of Alice's involvement. She got involved in the finish, which ended up seeing DJ get screwed over and lose the match.
Yeah, what was that again? What did she do?
She distracted the referee, saying, I don't know what she said to him, but she was very vocal and stuff, and I was like, this is exactly what I want out of her.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to do with her, yeah. So we didn't want her to just come out with us and, you know, just look pretty.
But I felt like since then she hasn't really done anything like that, except maybe slap Monet in the face.
Yeah, no, she sort of fell out of interest. Yeah, she was keen to do it for a while, but she sort of got over it. I think she'd rather just take photos or just chill with people, that sort of thing. She enjoyed it while it lasted, but...
Because this is back at the time where I'm trying to figure out something interesting for her and Lily to do. Like, Lily's doing a bit here and there. She getting quite involved in giving people the lariat and stuff like that. So I really wanted to get...
Yeah, trying to build the women up rather than just looking pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know, she's just not too into it these days.
Fair enough. Rampage, the following show. New main event, putting a title online, you get your win over Mykonos that you were supposed to get earlier in the year.
I'm sure he was annoyed about that.
That was a much better performance than the first one.
Yeah.
So, any memories of that one?
I think we were happier with that match than the previous one, because we worked better together. I think we still feel like we could have done better. But yeah, we were happy to do a better job than the last match. We pulled off some pretty cool stuff. Crowd seemed pretty into it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a decent match. Again, I think we could do better. But yeah, eventually our chemistry is starting to sort of work together.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Just getting there slowly but surely.
learning
Okay,
each
so
other.
at the end of the show, there's an appreciation segment for myself. Three Dog made it seem to me earlier in the week that he was going to retire because of work and stuff, so I thought he was going to come out and retire.
Oh, that was legitimate. Do you know that was legitimate?
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he legitimately thought he was going to have to retire.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't just to work the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So, actually, yeah, continue on so we can explain it.
Okay,
yeah.
so basically he comes out and I'm thinking he's retiring, and I'm just trying to think, what are we going to do with the title now?
Yeah.
So then he calls me out to the ring, and I guess I was like, I guess maybe he just wants to hand over the title or thank me or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he calls you out, and then the first thing that comes to mind is, he's handing the title to Dan Zeplin, so Dan Zeplin could take over the title reign and be the champion.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I didn't say okay to that, but if that's what he wants to do, I'm actually pretty cool with that.
Yeah, okay.
But you come to the ring, you got something, you're holding something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get in the ring, it starts to hit me like, I don't know what they're doing, but I think it's not even about Aaron anymore. It's actually about me, and I'm just standing there awkwardly.
And I remember sort of seeing it hit you slowly. Like I remember your face sort of going blank.
My face went blank and dropped a little bit. And
Yeah,
I think I whispered to Aaron, "Why is this happening?"
Yeah. I always remember the look on your face. You just slowly realising.
Yeah, I was like, "Is this happening? Why is this happening?"
Yeah. Aaron was legitimately going to be leaving. It wasn't a work from the start. He thought he was going to have to leave, but then he realised he didn't have to. But he kept up the charade so that we could punk you.
So whose idea was it initially? I heard it was Jacob.
I think it was Jacob's idea originally to do an appreciation thing for you. Yeah.
Because I think I did say to him, I don't know, I was having one of my bad days, and I just said to him, I feel like I put in so much effort and no one really does anything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I think that night he messaged me privately, and he wanted to do something almost straight away. And then the day after, or maybe that night or whatever, he or one of us messaged basically everyone in the Fed, apart from you, of course, and let everyone know what we were thinking. Which was to show our appreciation for you, basically. What do we get? We bought you a bottle of rum.
Bottle of Kraken rum.
Kraken rum. Nice quality shit.
Yes.
And we made a lovely collage of photos from your career.
Yeah. So you got onto Just Mike for that?
Yeah, and a nice frame and stuff. Yeah, I messaged Just Mike so we could get some old photos from the XCW times.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been complete without that, of course.
Yeah.
He gave us some photos from back when you were like 15 years old and
I do believe there was an incident with a vacuum cleaner.
With a vacuum cleaner?
That I think Alice was vacuuming the floor and she might have accidentally hit the frame. Shattered.
Yeah. So we'd bought the big frame to put all the photos in for you, and Alice was vacuuming her room. And the frame was leaning up against her desk or whatever, and she went to vacuum the floor. I think she hit the bottom of the frame, so it sort of straightened up against the desk, and then it fell backwards and it shattered. The frame we bought you fucking shattered, so we had to go and buy you a new one the next day. So fucking annoying.
That must have set you back for more money again.
Yeah, of course. We had to go and buy a new
one.
It's
a big frame, so I'm assuming it's not cheap.
No, it wasn't too cheap, no. So we'd bought this thing, we're like, fuck yeah, we're getting this appreciation thing sorted, and then it fucking shattered.
Well, thank you, because it really did mean a lot to me, and I've got it hanging in my den.
Yeah. Well, we know it meant a lot to you, because you cried in the ring, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I cried like a little bitch.
You did. That's, I love to look back on that memory.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have done so much for us, so much passion. So it was good to show appreciation, and it was good to see that you appreciated our appreciation.
Yes, for sure. Alright, let's get back onto the wrestling career of Dan Zeplin and WZWA. The next show is Frostbite.
Yeah.
So I had this idea, right, set in my mind. Alright, when Alex Stone's just about to get his big moment, it's going to be taken away from him. So basically it's you and him in the main event for the heavyweight title, but that week you had got a tattoo.
Yeah.
So the match, like the last time you guys wrestled, had to be cut short.
Yeah. Because
of the tattoo.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, I think that was the big calf piece I have, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was like my whole calf was torn up. It was only about 2 days old.
Yeah.
So anyone with tattoos knows it's fucking sore and
but,
itchy.
Thank you for at least doing the match, because...
yeah. Well, we're so deep into the EA thing, I knew I couldn't just do fuck all on that show. I had to do something.
Yeah.
So.
Basically the idea was Alex hits you with the cutter as he's going for the pin. I'm running out and I'm saying this match is now a gauntlet match. I'm the last. I'm the last member of the gauntlet. So he beats you just when he thinks he's won the heavyweight title. I'm supposed to get in the ring, super kick him. He kicks out, go for another one. He goes for a twist of fate. I reverse that into a twist of fate of my own, and then I beat him to win the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
But during the show, I had really realised that EA had won every match we'd been in.
Yeah.
I think Nick Ariel had won the backyard title, or something like that. Blade had won his match, Ryan had won his match. Like, we were just... Acid had won the Aussie title. Like, we had just, dominated the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
So I was, in two minds with that, but also at the same time, Chris's mum was there. And there was a big situation with her and I earlier in the year, and I just hated the thought of, look at him. Look at him.
He's booking himself to win again.
Win the title again. Wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? It doesn't feel right. With that added element, it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But even at the same time, I was thinking, man, we have won everything this show. No wonder people are getting sick of the Elite Alliance.
Yeah, I remember you talking to me about it at the show. Because it was booked for you to win the title again. And you were like, I don't know if we should do this and stuff like that.
I mean, I only wanted to win it so I could be the one to lose it to Alex. I wanted to be part of that moment where he won.
Oh, yeah. You know? It had legitimate reasons, of course, but totally see what you meant. You're winning the title again. You're fucking booking yourself to win again.
Yeah, I just won a match earlier in the show. Last man standing gets Mike Del Cano. Then, oh wow, look, all of a sudden he's the champion.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, it had legitimate reasons and it would have worked well. But I remember you talking to me at the show, sort of worried about it. Yeah. As you said, especially with Chris's mum being there, with the issues there.
And poor Alex is like, as we're doing the thing, Alex is like, no, do it. This is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Alex told me it was the right thing to do.
And I think I told you that as well, just before the match.
Everyone, like Ryan, Blade, everyone said, no, do it. It's the right thing to do. Luke Monet, right thing to do.
Don't worry about what she thinks.
But what happens as we're doing it? I'm like...
During the actual match,
when you catch this super kick and you hit me with a cutter, you're winning.
Yeah.
So then Alex is just like, all of a sudden... he's probably thinking the next show he's going to win the belt.
Yeah.
But now...
It's happening right now.
Now I'm the heavyweight champion, so it must have been pretty... you listened to his podcast, he was pretty... shit.
But I think that was a great moment. I think it was a good way to do it. Even though, obviously, it wasn't planned at all. I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
You said in the podcast you guys wish it could have happened better. But, no, I actually like how it happened. I'm glad it happened like that.
Yeah, me too. I think it would have been a little bit more expected if it went down to me and him.
Yeah, everyone would have known.
They would have known Alex was going to win it. So for him to kind of win it just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So
even the guys that booked it didn't realise that was going to win
Yeah.
Alright, so from there...
Let me ask you a question then. What did the other bookers think of that? Because Ryan and Justin Sorry, not Justin.
Ryan had actually left at that point, so Ryan didn't even know what was going on. But I spoke to him before he'd left. Not sure if Blade was still there or not, but I eventually let them know afterward, sorry, I went against what we all planned, and because it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But they all said this is the right thing to do. You should be winning it because it'll
Yeah,
create
okay.
good heat. And I'm like, okay, but it just didn't feel right. So
Yeah.
there it is.
Good call in the end, I think.
Yeah. So the next show, so Zeppelin's now no longer heavyweight champion. I guess you weren't too disappointed to lose the title.
Oh no, because obviously I knew what was happening from the start.
You knew it was always going to be just a transitional title reign to
basically,
get to
yeah.
Alex.
I was just stoked to have the title for a while. It meant a lot to me to have a bit of a reign in the WZWA. You know, sort of the next generation of backyard wrestling in WA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to just have a little bit of a major part in that.
Yep. Okay, so the next show is the musical.
Yep.
And it's the beginning of Dark Ice's Fight Night.
Yeah.
So, I came up with this idea a while ago, and I said to Ice, look, once your feud with Regan's over, I want to do something completely different with you, before you get onto your next storyline. So I thought every show you challenge either someone you've never wrestled before or someone who used to be a huge foe of yours.
Yeah.
So number one was you because you were the one that ended SPWS.
Yeah.
After that, it was supposed to be like DJ because DJ always avoided wrestling Dark Ice for all these years. Now it's too late, mate. You're going to face me. Clint Marshall, you never wrestled him before.
Yeah.
Chaos was going to be another one because of their previous feud and all that. So all this stuff all had a storyline behind it, but it was just the storyline is the history between him and all these people, or the lack of history.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect thing for us. That really tied him over for a long time.
And a lot of people said my favourite part of every show is Dark Ice's fight night.
Yeah, that's it. It just suited Ice so well. Like, he's a, brutal, hard motherfucker in the ring. It just suits him so well that he would just call out whoever he wants to and, expect a brutal fight every show.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hopefully bringing back the fight night at some point when Ice is 100% ready to return.
There we go. I look forward to that.
But that match with you and him, that was probably your best match of the year, I'd say.
You reckon? Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, well, me and Ice have always had such good chemistry.
You've had some good matches, but I think this one really set the bar high for as far as your matches for the year concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Always so much fun wrestling Ice. Can't go wrong with him, really. I think he knows how to work with pretty much everyone, and especially with me. Even from the first match we ever had, we just worked so well.
Some people you just have that immediate chemistry with, and
just bam. Yeah, you work together so well, especially with him being a big guy, me being a small guy. He's power, I'm high flyer. Almost works well every time.
It's almost like you guys couldn't have a bad match even if you tried to have a bad match.
Yeah.
All right. So from there, I just wanted to touch on this quickly because I don't know if this happened at the musical or at Frostbite. Either or, it must have been the musical. Nick Ariel joins the Elite Alliance.
Oh, yeah.
Your thoughts on seeing, someone like Nick Ariel, who we hadn't seen in quite some time. All of a sudden now he's a part of it.
Well, that was sort of the icing on the cake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, we've got this strong team of three guys. Then we get Lila, the diva. Then we get the black guy, Acid. And then now we've got an XCW legend. Like, if we've got a bit of everything,
Yeah.
Like, the EA is just building up so well. We've, as I said, we've got a bit of everything. Sort of not what we needed, but definitely a great touch to the EA.
Yeah.
Pissing everyone off more as well. Everyone's joining the EA. Now they've got an XCW guy as well.
I actually even had the idea of AAA to join the Elite Alliance as well. Like,
I remember that. Yeah,
it was supposed to be really late in the year, just before we were
just before we broke up.
Because my thoughts was like the NWO, right? When they had the NWO, there were people that did join like right near the end, and they're just a little bit a part of their history, but not really meaningful.
Yeah.
So I thought, they're just going to just pile in so many guys into that.
So many fucking dudes.
But I changed my mind because I thought, I didn't want to get too involved in what AAA was doing.
By that point, people were getting, legitimately pissed off, weren't they? Like, the audience
said
watching...
he actually felt sick every time he saw the Elite Alliance.
Yeah, it went beyond a storyline. Like, people watching it were actually, fucking sick of it. Seeing us win all the time, all these dudes joining us, they were... It wasn't just like, oh, I hate you guys, boo. It was like, I'm fucking sick of
And
this.
that was almost
Get rid of the
that
EA.
was almost the idea behind it. Was I want
to legitimate
get
heat,
people legitimately hating
because
it.
then they're legitimately invested in the storyline as well.
Yeah, because like when you portray a bad guy, everyone just boos you.
Because they're supposed
that's
to.
what's supposed
They
to
feel
do.
like that's what they're supposed
But if
to
you
do.
can actually get them to really
give
you a
legitimately
legitimate-
like hating you.
yes, that's what you want.
Yeah, and I think we did that so well.
We did. So despite the fact that even I was like, oh god.
Oh yeah, even us in the EA, we were like, I can't wait for this to finish.
Yeah, like at that point, because you and I think we were talking about the future at this point,
Yeah.
about what you want to do as Dan Zeplin, and Ryan was telling me what he wanted to do with Blade, and I'm like, I can't wait for you guys to have that.
Yeah, we were
you've
so
spent
excited to get
so
onto our
long.
singles careers.
I mean, this
like,
is a 2.5 year thing, you know?
Yeah, it lasted so long. Like, we were excited for the EA storyline to, finish its course. But yeah, I think we were more excited to just start our singles careers.
Yeah, do something a bit different. But anyway, I want to talk about Clash of the Triads.
Go on then.
What were your thoughts on the idea of a team ICWS being involved with you, Clint Marshall, and DJ?
Oh, I love it. That was
That's one of my favourite shows that we ever had. Oh
yeah, definitely, because it was so different to what we always do. Storylines were sort of somewhat put on the side so that we could just have some fun, good matches. See some teams that we would never usually see. Actually, yeah, that was a really interesting point of it. Seeing teams that would never actually happen within normal storylines. Like Team ICWS, me, DJ, and Clint Marshall. Why would we ever team up? It just wouldn't happen. So yeah, it was a lot of fun working with dudes that you would just never work with, and even just the 6-man tag matches was a different thing in itself. So
because we'd never really done them before.
No. So on top of different teams getting put together, it was also the factor that 6-man tag teams were happening for a whole show.
Yeah.
And in a tournament situation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Something different for us to do. I think it's what we needed, really.
Yeah.
It's
break
definitely
it up a bit.
Yeah, definitely good to shake it up a little.
Yeah,
Do something interesting for a while. That's what backyard wrestling's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to do different things. Keep everyone interested. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, do something different.
Because like in pro wrestling, you couldn't do that because the fans expect you to, keep on with the storylines. You can't just do something that's totally different to what you're doing.
With something like that.
Yeah, you can't just have random fun every now and then. Whereas backyard wrestling, that's what it's about, really.
Yeah.
Just have some fun.
So that match, I believe, was the best match of the show. Team ICWS against the Radical Army.
Yeah, it was a solid one. Yeah.
It's just cool because you got to see Delcano and DJ actually wrestle for the first time. You got to see DJ and Alex Stone wrestle a little bit for the first time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of people, it was new people facing off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People that wouldn't have usually faced off in the storylines got to have that chance.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my favourite match of the show.
Cool. Glad to hear it.
A lot of good stuff happened. You had Team XEW.
It's so good that happened because just like Team ICWS, Team XEW. Where in normal storylines, when would that happen?
Yeah, when would Johnny V ever, have any interaction with Brian Lowe?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
well, they got to wrestle a little bit of that match, and then John got to wrestle Acid and Jack and Luke as well. And
like it's almost like these things shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Like John and Nick have been wrestling for 10 years in a totally different federation.
Yeah.
What, 15 years almost, was it? Something like that, anyway. And now they're wrestling these new dudes that have, up and coming in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have happened, but it was so good. Yeah,
it was good
seeing everyone work together.
Gentleman's Duel. I believe it's late.
Love the name.
Late November. You like that name? Good.
Yeah.
I that was my idea.
Yeah,
I like the
it was.
name. So I was like, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is what I'm.
Yeah,
going
some
with.
people were they didn't really like
Well,
it. Did they?
I don't understand what it means. It's like how do you not get it? Like, we're obviously not gentlemen.
Yeah,
It's obviously not a duel. That's why it's Gentleman's Duel. Cause it's nothing like that.
Yeah, like. I don't know. Some people are a bit too uptight about storyline names, show names. I think. Like, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it doesn't matter. But if it's a meaningful You gotta have a Halloween Hell. You gotta have a
yeah.
You gotta have a Twister Metal. You gotta have a Resolution, a Frostbite.
You've got to have those iconic shows, But sort of in between that, it
shouldn't matter. Really.
It doesn't matter what the show's called.
No.
It's just another day that we get together and wrestle.
People got fucking pissed off at me for the show name Wham Bam Body Slam. I thought it was a funny name, and Brad Hazard was like, "I love the name Wham Bam Body Slam."
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Anyway, you don't wrestle at Gentleman's Duel. I think you had to leave early for work. Tommy Taboo was there to say hello.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, anyway, from there, Christmas Carnage 2014.
You don't want to talk about Taboo?
Oh, well, not too much.
No.
Just enough.
Well, it's just that me and him were, everyone had always put him and I together as, like, brothers. Like, we should have been a brother tag team. Even the guys from over east, before they even knew who I was, really, they were like, "Oh, you look like Tommy Taboo. You guys should, team and stuff like that." And then me and Taboo became very good friends. We talked on MSN, daily almost. So yeah, we really wanted to do the brother tag team sort of thing, which didn't end up happening, unfortunately.
No.
But it was really good to finally meet him. We've been wanting to meet up for years.
Because you got to hang out with him at APW, did you?
Yeah, we hung out a fair bit, actually. He stayed at mine for a night or two, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
I think he did.
I can't remember.
Neither can I. Either way, we hung out a fair bit, and yeah, it was so good to meet Taboo finally. We've been good friends for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, you guys spoke on the phone and shit. I remember you were called during an ICWS show.
Yeah, at a ICWS show. Probably that was a long time before he actually came over here to Perth. Probably about 2 years before. Yeah. We called him. He didn't call us. We called him, I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. Because both our feds had a show on the same day, ICWS and
XAW.
I think it was XAW. It might have even been an IYH show.
Okay.
Anyway, there was a show over east, and yeah, we called them. It was sort of like a prank call. We were fucking around, but yeah, that was good fun.
Oh, funny, I didn't realise that there was a show going on over there at the same time. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was, yeah. Anyway, me and Taboo were good friends for years via the internet, as far as friendships go via the internet.
So, who knows, maybe you'll see Big Fudge over here in Perth at some point.
Oh, yeah, could be interesting.
I'm sure he's got some ties to NHPW now. He did a bit of a training camp there.
That's true, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him come over.
I would love to see him over here.
That'd be great. Christmas Carnage 2014, you and Ryan in a nice little squash match, tag team match against Mojo Flow and Papacito.
Yeah.
Once again, Dan Zeplin's in a tag team match, and I think to myself, they've got chemistry as a team.
Yeah.
I thought you and Ryan were an awesome team.
Yeah, I think we worked well. We worked well quite together. Oh, that didn't make sense.
We worked quite well together.
We worked, yeah. What he said. I can't words today. Yeah, that was a really fun match. It was good fun working with him. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't think we'd ever tag team together, like just in a singles match. So it was good fun working together.
Because he just had a tag team with Blade, they were the tag champions.
Yeah.
But we just threw you two together. I think we were waiting for people to arrive, basically. So we're like, "Oh, Dan, do you and Ryan just want to fucking go and kill Mojo Flow and Papacito?"
Yeah, I think that's also why it was fun, because I don't think I'd ever been on the the
backyard
the winner end of of a squash match.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because any squash match I've ever been in was usually as El Queso Grande, so I was the one getting squashed as my Mars character. So yeah, I don't think in a squash match I'd ever actually squashed anyone. So that was good fun, especially working with Ryan. Yeah, as you said, we had good chemistry.
Yeah. Which
is unique, I think, because we're both little guys. So I guess it was sort of like a little. No, I wouldn't say high flyer team, because Ryan is not really a high flyer.
No.
Yeah, like little midget team work well together.
Yep. So right now we're at the dying days, I guess, of the Elite Alliance. We all know that the end is coming soon. You're probably very excited to
finally get it over with.
On with a new edge to your character, a new part of your WZWA career. Because basically all you've ever done is feud with me and Alex Stone, join Elite Alliance.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Ever since I joined WZWA, it's been EA.
It's been everything you've been involved with has been EA.
Yeah, that whole 2 years almost.
It was
More?
2.5.
2.5 years. EA.
Insane.
When I think about it, that's ridiculous.
Mid 2012, all of 2013, all of 2014. So
yeah,
two
no
and a
wonder I
half
was so
years.
excited to get into the singles career because ICWS wasn't doing shows at that time either. So EA, like tag team wrestling or being involved in a tag team at least, was the only thing that was happening.
It's so
for me.
rare that a stable in backyard wrestling would even last longer than 6 months.
Usually, I was going to say,
Like
it'd usually be
Radical
6 months.
Radical movement, maybe 6 to 8 months.
Yeah,
maybe a tiny bit longer.
Yeah,
but
rarely did it ever actually have that like effect where we were like a successful long-term tag team.
Yeah,
that would never happen in backyard wrestling.
No, so it was
until we did it.
Until we did it. So we finally did it, and I think looking back on the Elite Alliance, I want to know your thoughts on what you think the Elite Alliance means to the history of WZWA and also backyard wrestling in WA.
Well, it's so important, isn't it? Because EA was one of the probably the first storyline that was like the first main event storyline. And as we just said, it went for 2.5 years, so it was obviously a major thing. Because for almost all that time, it was in the main event, wasn't it?
Pretty much,
or at least very, very important to the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably one of the most important things in WA backyard wrestling, I would say. WZWA would not be the same if the Elite Alliance didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what we would have done if we were all singles wrestlers.
Yeah,
at that
if there was
time.
no stable, I don't know what. You see, my initial idea was there was going to be a stable wars, basically, for the first year of WCW. There was going to be the Rebellion, Black Carnival, Elite Alliance, and eventually the Black Carnival and Elite Alliance would clash, but that actually didn't really happen. But it was going to be, a bunch of stables and a bunch of tag teams like Legion and all that, and there was going to be a big war between all these different groups and stuff. But, I think, yes, you're right. Elite Alliance is very important to the history of WCWA.
Definitely.
And I think not only did it kind of, in a way, do things for certain people's careers, in quotation marks.
Oh, yeah.
That otherwise may not have happened. Like, I think it really did rejuvenate your career.
Oh,
I
absolutely,
think with Alex Stone, it really made him a
his
star.
career. Yeah.
I think Ryan Tate brought him out of his little comfortable babyface shell into being one of the top heels in the company.
Yeah,
Blade Shaw got the opportunity to come back.
Yeah.
Lila, Alice,
everyone involved, it built them up a lot.
And it helped them get to the next level.
Yeah, it was so valuable to everyone involved. Yeah, as you just said, I really agree with that. It brought everyone to the next level.
I think about Acid. I mean, before that, he was just a no-name, nothing, mid-card. He used to be a WCW original, hasn't done anything. As soon as he turns heel and joins us, all of a sudden he's a star.
Yeah, that's it.
In the eyes of everyone else, anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think anyone bought into the EA was basically made a star. Because, as I said before, it was the main event storyline for at least a year. Or, almost for the whole 2.5 years. It was near main event.
Yeah.
Sort of the major thing happening in the Federation. So, anyone involved was bound to be a star, basically.
Yeah. And
all eyes on them.
Yes. Just throw them a shirt and they're over.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the dying days of the Elite Alliance. Just speaking on that briefly. Dan, I believe, has gone inside to get another glass of Coke for his Jameson Irish whiskey. I'm incorrect. He's bringing out the bong. No,
not today. I'm getting my jacket because it's getting fairly windy.
It's 10 to 6 now.
Yeah, we sort of blocked off the microphone with a book, an NBA book, is it? Or
yes.
General basketball
Yes, the
I don't do
official
sports.
pictorial edition of the Chicago Bulls.
Are they an NBA team?
Stupid.
I don't.
How could you not know the Chicago Bulls?
I don't know sports.
Anyway, let's get to Resolution 3.
Little tangent there.
This is what we expect of the GBYWN Australia podcast.
Rough and raw.
Rough and raw.
Doesn't even edit.
No. Resolution 3. Okay, Resolution 3. We get to this winner takes all. 6-man tag turns out to be 4 versus 3. What a great match for a match that had no planning behind it, really. But I just think putting us 4, me, you, Blade, and Ryan, really represents me and you as the past.
Yeah.
Ryan is the middle, and Blade is the the end. Past, present, and future of Elite Alliance. Anyway, so that was represented very well with us 4. And of course, we're taking on the franchise, who are the guys who were in charge of the company at the beginning of WZWA, and JD Flame, the new commissioner, who's on the rise as a commissioner at this time. So I think that dynamic between the two teams was really good.
Oh yeah, sort of like the classic superhero versus villains.
Did you remember hearing about Tim Justice might be on their team?
Yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen, to be honest.
Do you think it would have?
Yeah, like nothing against Tim whatsoever. But yeah, like he wasn't involved with anything prior to that, and he wasn't really a huge name. Well, he wasn't a name at all in WZWA, because he had wrestled in WZWA before, but it was under a different gimmick. So yeah, if Tim Justice joined us, I think, I don't know. I feel it would have weakened it a little, because he wasn't in a place to be in the match. Everyone in the match was very important. Everyone had either been, defending WZWA, or it was the Elite Alliance attacking WZWA. If he came in, I think it would have just been irrelevant, if you know what I mean.
I think the initial idea was Luke's idea of, okay, look. The initial idea was Jack versus Ryan Tate, Acid versus Luke Monet in separate singles matches. If they got to win both those matches, then they could actually challenge us.
Yeah.
In the big 6-man tag. But that changed because Acid had left.
Yeah.
And so it was going to be 4-on-3. So Luke was like, why don't we have JD Flame anticipate that you guys are going to make it 4-on-3, because Ryan Tate doesn't have a match, and anticipate it, so he brings in someone who is also a WZWA original, Tim Justice. And then the idea being Tim turns on them during the match, joins the Elite Alliance, but then we still lose the match, so then Tim's got to answer to these 3 guys in the roster for the shows continuing forward. But in hindsight, I think it was better the way that we did it.
Well, what comes to mind when you just said Tim Justice is a WZWA original? Again, no offense to him, but I don't think anyone really thinks of him as an original, because
I understand that, but he did wrestle on their first show.
So yeah, technically he's an original. But when I think of WZW originals, it's Jack Wallace, Luke Monet, Chris, Jacob.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Tim just happened to be there.
Okay. It was like he's an ICWS guy in the WZW.
Yeah, that's it. Like I feel like if he listened to this, he'll probably be offended. But sort of what I mean is he was an ICWS guy who just happened to be at their first show.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he made the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just...
Well, WZWA was a continuation of their old Fed, so their old Fed didn't have Tim, did it? So
I guess that's what I mean. I think of the originals as who was in the old Fed before WZW.
Gotcha. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the big moment.
Yeah.
I was just, once again, I'm so thrilled with how it turned out, because the way I envisioned it was exactly how it happened, but even better. The lights go out. The lights come back on after some booming music's playing in the background. Yep. There's Diffuser. Choke slam to Ryan Tate through a table. Comes into the ring. Who do we send to him first after we send the smallest guy to him?
the second smallest guy
to him. You take the most brutal powerbomb.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, and you heard Diffuser's podcast where he said he went to pick you up, and
I was already
up there before he even really realised it.
Yeah, before he even lifted
so
me.
light.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I was on the other side of that. It's basically the exact same. Before I felt like he was wrenching me up, I was just already like 10 feet in the air.
Amazing. And,
yeah.
Let's just talk about that little moment. You'd seen Diffuser in ICWS, you'd seen him in XCW, you got to wrestle in a few XCW shows. So, knowing that this is the only time you guys will ever touch in backyard wrestling, because he's not coming back, there's no way. But, to you, you're thinking, this one moment, I get this one moment with Diffuser, this powerbomb, this is it.
Yeah.
So, to you, do you feel like this is fucking awesome?
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I hate taking power bombs. It's a shit bump. Like, it's your opponent like forcing you into the ground from like 10 feet in the air. So it's like it's always going to be a shitty bump. But I remember you telling me that you wanted him to powerbomb me, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm down for it. Yeah, I remember running at him, and he kicked me in the gut, and then he just, I think he punched me a couple of times.
No, I think he went to kick you in the gut, but because he's so tall...
Oh, yeah, he booted me.
Right in the head.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he big booted me, basically.
Yeah.
And I was, I didn't know if I'd fucked up there, because I knew he was supposed to powerbomb me, but yeah, I bumped the big boot, because it hit me in the face, so I couldn't not bump it.
Yeah. But I just think it's just so funny to know that Diffuser powerbombed you, and that was the only time you interacted.
Man, it's so good. Yeah, because even at that point, like before then, he had the the legendary status of being one of XCW's icons, like one of the biggest dudes in WA backyard wrestling. So yeah, I was just totally stoked to have just a tiny little moment with him.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me about it, it must have been like 6 months before it actually happened?
Yeah.
That it was planned.
I was at the pub with you, I think, and I was like, this is my idea.
Yeah, we were at the Basie, I think.
Yeah.
And, I was just, from that moment on, I was so excited.
Yeah.
It was going to happen so far in the future from the moment that you told me.
Yeah.
But, I couldn't freaking wait. And, when it happened, I don't think it could have gone any better.
And I've said this part on many podcasts. I find it hilarious that Nick Ariel takes a choke slam from him because they wrestled once in 2002, never touched since, and then all of a sudden in January 2015, Ariel is getting a choke slam from Diffuser.
Yeah, like all this time they wrestled in the same fed, XCW, and they never even touched then. But now it just happens to come together in WWA, a totally different federation.
Like the last time he chokeslammed Nick Ariel was when Nick Ariel was a child.
Yeah.
Now he's a grown
literally
man
a child, like
muscles,
14 years old.
Muscles and really well built now.
Yeah, illegal business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Samoan drop on Blade Shore, chokeslam straight to hell on me.
That's. I think when I've finished backyard wrestling, that will be one of the moments that I look back on most fondly.
This is my coughing ashtray. It coughs.
Oh, okay. I just heard some strange coughing in the background. Never mind, folks. Lost track. Oh yeah, Diffuser. Good moment.
Yes.
No, I think it was so important to WZWA having a Diffuser appearance. I think, even though the fact that he didn't have a full match, I don't think he needed to. Just the fact that he was so big in XCW. I keep saying XCW. Just having that moment in WZWA, I think was so important to WA yarding. It just it needed to happen really, and I'm stoked that it eventually happened.
Yes, me too.
I remember the first time I watched the footage back, my eyes sort of welled up a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just because it was so epic.
And it's like it's the end of an era.
Yeah, that's it. Like we knew that was the last time we see Diffuser as well. Yeah. But it was just so good that he'd even made that appearance, and especially with it being the biggest storyline of WZWA so far.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have been done any better.
They get their insurance policy. Diffuser gets his moment in the spotlight one more time.
Yeah.
And the best part is he leaves, gets straight in his car, and goes home.
Yeah,
like,
that's
no
it.
one even saw him.
So
he was
legitimately,
legitimately,
not even in storylines, nobody knew that he was like.
Like, did that really happen? Was that?
Yeah,
was that real?
Yeah, it was like a little ghost.
Yeah.
Such an epic moment. I love that. Yeah.
So, we'll get to the next show. Actually, no, before we get to that, let's talk about the problems with WCWA at the time. So we have resolution. We agree we're going to have a 2 or 3 month break because, Noel's burned out of having us there. I'm burned out. I want a bit of a break. Jack wants a little bit of a break. But during all this, there's a disagreement on the thread over something with Jack said, and a few people threw in their 2 cents, and he wasn't happy with what they said, so then he started to just hate on everyone pretty much. I tried to sort it out with him. He wouldn't listen to me. He kept saying WZWA is going to be ending soon. I've had enough of it, blah, blah, blah. So what were your thoughts going through this time in WZWA's history? Pretty dark time, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I think at that time ICWS wasn't even running, was it? Yeah, so
that's what prompted the return of ICWS.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It was quite worrying times because we thought that this hobby that we've been doing for, some of us 15 years, for myself 9 years or 8 years, something like that. We thought it was going to suddenly come to an end. I don't even know what to say about it. Yeah, it was just dark times, as you said.
And we had the show Hard Time 4, and that was during the time where the future of WZWA was still up in the air. We didn't know if we were moving to Baldivis or not. We didn't know if the next show was going to be the last show that we ever do.
Yeah, and the move to Baldivis, which for those that don't live in Perth, is about an hour away from where we do the shows now. I think it would have killed WZWA really, because not many people
had 3 matches on a show and
it would have been tiny shows. Not many people would have rocked up to the shows being all the way down in Baldivis. Like an hour away from.
I'm sure the first show a lot of people would have been there, and the second, third
people
show,
just wouldn't be bothered to turn up.
Oh no,
all that travel.
Yeah. Plus, people have a hard enough time as it is, travelling to Mullaloo.
Yeah, which isn't even that hard to get to. Yes. I remember being pretty worried around that time, as everyone was, really. Because, as I said, it's this thing that, this hobby that had, got me through my teenage years, really. I've been doing it since I was 13, every month. And then it was, suddenly coming to an end.
But luckily it wasn't.
Yeah, no,
luckily the call became false finish.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, Hard Time 4, you do wrestle Ryan, and a little feud between you guys begins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were too happy with it, but I thought it was a great little match. In comparison to the rest of the show, I believe that match and maybe Mitch and Three Dog, and I'm pretty sure there was a 3-way with Regan, Mantilgus and Deacon, which was also really decent. But other than that, every other match was pretty bad. So
offensive.
You got to wrestle Ryan.
Yeah.
So thoughts on that match during a very confusing time in WZWA?
Yeah, that was not our best match.
You're supposed to kick off this feud and turn you babyface and let everyone know that he's the heel. Zeplin's now the babyface.
Yeah, see, I think it really got him over as a heel, but it didn't do too much for me. I didn't really play my character too well. As you said, I was supposed to sort of get into babyface by then, but I just sort of kicked into neutral, didn't I? I
don't think anyone really knew how to react once
that's
cheated
it.
To beat you, and then you attacked him afterward.
Yeah. I wasn't really a heel, I wasn't really a face. As tweeners are okay, but you've got to know what they're doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't really doing anything. I should have tried to play my character better well. Should have played my character better well. And the match itself, I think we could have done better. It wasn't a bad match. Evidently not, as you said. It was one of the better ones on the show.
I thought it was good. I don't know. I didn't say you guys screw anything up or anything.
I don't think we really screwed up. I think it was just that we probably planned more, or at least hoped to do more than we did.
Gotcha.
So what we did do was good, but we didn't do as much as we could have done.
Okay. after that, we get to WZWA False Finish. You go 1-on-1 with Blade for the first time. So I was very excited to see this match, because just to see anyone from the old ICWS battle, anyone from the old XCW, to me, that gets me pumped up.
Yeah.
So how do you feel you went in your match with Blade?
Yeah, it was definitely epic wrestling him. Again, I think that's a match where we really could have done better. Although, obviously, never having wrestled before, although we very briefly wrestled in XCW as my Mars character.
Yes.
But aside from that, I think if we had another match, we'd definitely be a lot better together, because we know how each other works now.
Yeah.
I wasn't too happy with that one. I was pretty disappointed. I think Blade deserved a better performance from me there. I don't know how he felt about it. I think he was happy enough with it, wasn't he?
I don't even know if we've spoke about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember I was pretty disappointed.
I think he was disappointed in himself.
Oh, okay.
But he's always hard on himself, so.
Well, so am I these days, really. So maybe it was better than we both think. But yeah, I remember I was pretty disappointed with that one. But hopefully face him again. We'd like to capitalise on that, I think.
Cool. Alright, so from there, what's after False Finish? Bowl of Mixed Nuts. You had a knee injury at the time. We talked about this in the ICW
briefly,
section. I don't know. No, it wasn't that show. Yeah, no, Bowl of Mixed Nuts. I don't even know if you were booked to wrestle on that show. But we get to... was it Frostbite? Shit, I don't even know where I'm at here. What was our False Finish? Was it Frostbite?
I think. Yeah.
Okay, Frostbite was supposed to be the mixed tag team match that I was hoping to do.
Yeah.
Lila and Ryan against you and Alice.
Yeah.
It was either that or it was that Bowl of Mixed Nuts. I can't remember.
It was Frostbite. Yeah, that was Frostbite.
Okay.
And I missed Bowl of Mixed Nuts because of the knee injury.
Okay. So what happened there? I know Alice wasn't too keen on doing it, but I didn't really want her to do too much other than come into the ring and get the pin after Ryan had been laid out. Yeah.
So there was two problems with that match, getting in the way of that. That was one. It wasn't really. Firstly, the knee injury. Basically, my knee was getting very, very sore. I didn't end up seeing a doctor or anything, and it's all good now. Basically my knee was very sore whenever I walked on it for, more than usual, if I was walking home from the train station or something like that.
Yeah.
So of course I thought if I wrestled I might, fuck it up royally.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to wrestle while my knee was screwed.
No, I think the whole idea of doing this match was just so Lily could have another match, like another reason for her to wrestle.
Yeah, it would have been great.
And plus, to have you get to wrestle Lily would have been pretty, I guess, fun for you both, because you guys had known each other for a long time. And
we were friends before she was involved in the wrestling at all.
Yeah.
So we went to the same high school. We were in the
plus
same
you're
year.
Pretty light, so she'll be able to do some.
Yeah, actually, I knew Lily before she was even dating Ryan. So
that's a long time.
Mm.
All right, well, that's the mixed tag team match that never was, but I was really excited for it.
Yeah.
But,
with the knee injury, that basically ended up sorting itself out. I kept it strapped up for about 2 weeks, and it's all good now. Okay. So I don't know what was with that. I assume it was probably wrestling related. It seems that a lot of wrestlers get knee problems.
Yeah. I've got a bad left knee. I think I've got a torn meniscus in my knee at the moment.
Yeah. So you went to the doctor. I didn't. But hey, apparently I didn't need to. My knee's all good now. The other thing with that match is Alice wasn't really into the wrestling by that point.
She doesn't want to be involved anymore?
No, not really. No. She's just pretty happy to come down and hang out. She doesn't really want to be involved in it at all.
Well, that's a shame.
Well, yeah, it is. But, it's at the same time, she was never really right into it, if you know what I mean. She just sort of fell into the place of it.
Okay.
So it's understandable that she doesn't want to be a part of it, I think.
Well, out goes Alice and in comes Stacey.
There we go.
We got
There we go.
another girl on the roster to be involved. So what I want to ask you now is, what is the future of Dan Zeplin in WZWA? What is there left to accomplish?
Well, that's a big question. What is there left to accomplish? I suppose there's winning the hardcore title. But honestly, I'm not too set on that. If I don't win it, then I don't think I'll be disappointed that I never did. Because I had that hardcore run in 2012/2013 when I had the WZWA Championship. So yeah, I think that solidified my hardcore run. If I don't win the hardcore championship, I'll be happy because I still had a good solid hardcore run.
Yeah. Some great hardcore matches that you had.
Yeah, which is something I've always really wanted to do. I've really been into the hardcore wrestling as well as the technical stuff, of course. But yeah, I've always enjoyed like watching CZW and watching fucked up shit like that. So ever since like we started doing the hardcore stuff in ICWS, I always wanted to be one of the most hardcore dudes in the Fed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a pleasure doing that. Yeah. Having all those wicked hardcore matches with the light shoes and shit. Anyway, what's left to do? I don't know really. I'd like to wrestle a lot of the younger guys that I haven't wrestled yet, like Kyle, Deacon, stuff like that. All the newer guys that been too involved with storylines that I haven't really had a chance to wrestle, or whatever the reason may be. What else? I don't know. I just want to have fun in the ring, really. I think I'm sort of maybe past being in a lot of the huge storylines, like the main event storylines. I think the new upcoming talent should be pushed into that spot. Yeah, I love to just go out to the ring, have some cool, fun, random matches, just be entertaining to everyone. I don't want to do anything too serious. Yeah, just want to have fun, basically. I don't want to be too serious about it these days. Okay. Just want to have fun, just want to entertain people.
So I guess retirement's not on the cards. You're not thinking about having one last match in the next year?
Not yet. Yeah, it's hard to tell when that will be. Because I'm getting into like my career as a photographer and stuff like that. I'm getting into other types of performing. So wrestling is sort of taking a side note, but it's definitely still very, very important to me. It's something I'm still very passionate about. I love hanging out with everyone. I love entertaining everyone. So yeah, retirement's not on the cards yet. But I can't say for sure when it may be. It may creep up on me. It may be within the next 6 months. I could go until WZWA finishes in 3 years, or however it goes. Never know really. It's uncertain at the moment.
Okay.
I'd say my career is winding down because, as I said, I don't really want to be in the big serious main event storylines and stuff. But yeah, I don't mean winding down as in getting towards retirement.
Just winding down as far as your involvement in being in something that you're heavily relied upon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
to make work.
Yeah, I want to push the younger guys into the spotlight.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the old cunt, still winning championships and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see the old guys succeed. I want to push those old guys into the spotlight. As I guess I have the I guess I'm in the position to do that now, being one of the older guys, one of the older legends, as you might say.
The veteran.
Veteran, yeah, it's a better word than
push
legend.
The younger guys into the spot that we will.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, fair enough, Dan. Well, okay. That's it. That's your WZWA career up to this date.
That's where we're at now,
looking forward to the near future.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty interesting things coming up which we can't explain, but
secrets.
When it happens, it'll be very, very fun, I believe.
Definitely, yeah.
So
I mean, I say I don't want to be pushed into the spotlight, but what we've got planned is, it's not the spotlight, but I think it's definitely going to be very fun for the audience.
Yeah, it'll just be a nice little
But that's what I'm trying to say. Really, I don't want to be in the main event spotlight, but I still want to be relevant, and I still want to do fun things that people are entertained by.
Yeah.
So I guess on that note, I can say I'm very excited for what I've got in the future.
Excellent.
Yeah, not really doing much at the moment. Haven't wrestled for, 3 or 4 shows?
I think 2.
2 shows. Yeah, haven't wrestled for a while.
Frostbite and Bowl of Mixed Nuts.
Yeah.
But it would have seemed like more because it's been a lot of time.
Yeah, because we're doing shows a bit less frequently now.
Yeah.
But been out of the Fed for a while. Not out of the Fed, but not wrestling on shows. But
you've had
looking forward to it.
In the past, you've had a couple shows off, and then you come back and nothing's changed. You're still Dan Zeplin, still the Cannibal to us.
The Cannibal, Dan Zeplin.
So thank you, Dan. That was your WZWA Career.
Yes, it was. We're shaking hands right now.
Shaking hands, and we will get to you with the Q&A. There's going to be a part 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
we're going to do a Q&A. This just went over just 2 hours.
It didn't feel like 2 hours. Wow.
It
rambled
flew
on
by.
longer than I thought. Maybe I've had more whiskey than I thought I did.
Maybe. So, Dan, thank you. We'll be with you at the Q&A very shortly. Thank you for listening to the GBYWN Australia podcast, part 3, with the Cannibal, Dan Zeplin.
Yes, thank you.
And I think we had fun.
Yeah,
Did you have fun?
I had a bit of fun, yeah.
I had fun too.